Hi, today we're talking about what is a financial plan. Do you know what you need in a financial plan? Do you even need a plan? What's the pros and cons and things you should be looking for? Well, by the end of this video, you will be a pro and you will know what is appropriate for you. I'm Julie Kranitz. I'm a certified financial planner, have a Bachelor of Commerce from McGill University, and I am the president of Wealth Maximization Group. So what is a financial plan? A financial plan is sort of like a financial GPS. We look at where you are today, where you're trying to go, and what the best way to get there is. So here's the thing, it's pretty simple, but when you're going to start, you're going to do basically a big data gathering. You're going to find out, based on all your best thinking and all of the decisions you made in the past, where am I today? Sounds pretty obvious, pretty easy. Great thing to do is get all this information together while you're healthy, and it's easy to find and document it where some of your loved ones can find it if they ever need it. So the next part of a financial plan is, where am I going? What is my end result? This is something that's a little bit more difficult to do. People don't know what they're going to do tomorrow, forget about what they're going to be doing 20 years from now. So what we do is we do a retirement audit. We look at what you're spending today, what taxes you're paying, we take that off, we take off what you're saving for, because you probably won't be saving in retirement, and then we add back the new expenses that you're going to have. And then we call this our retirement audit, and we find out exactly as close as possible what you're going to need, and that is the final destination. So in between though, it's so important to know that you have the right assumptions, like what rate of return is reasonable. What are the taxes? That's usually incorporated in the plan. But things like inflation, you know, it's pretty funny, but inflation is something that's not so clear anymore. It used to be very clear. So you may hear on the news the inflation number is around 2%, but if you look at how my expenses have gone up in the last year, it's way more like 3 or 4% than it is 2. So make sure you're using a realistic inflation number, and then, you know, you got to kind of project how long you're going to live. So if anything, be a little bit overly optimistic, because you don't want to run out of money before you run out of time. So you do a financial plan, and then you get an idea of how much you can afford to spend in retirement. And you know that the typical answers are, if you're not going to reach your goals, you either need to retire later, take on more risk, which is get a higher rate of return, or live off less money. Those are the three options you have. And the thing about a retirement plan is it's assuming that they take this magical lump sum of money that you retire with, and then you spend it down equally over time. The question is that how life really happens? No, you never get a consistent rate of return, and that's where you've probably heard about the sequence of return risk. Listen to our next video about sequence of return, but it's so important to understand this, because we used to say you could take out 4% if you wanted on a balanced portfolio not to run out of money. Now it's 2.8. What does that mean? If you have $1 million, you can only get 28,000 out, so you don't erode your capital. So the fact that the plan is spending your money down over time and not just taking 2.8, that's a bit of a problem. So nevertheless, the financial plan is a good GPS. It kind of tells you you're starting here, you're going here. This is about how much time it should take you. This is about where you're going to end up. But let's be realistic. You know, there can be traffic that can slow you down. There can be road closures. It's just a plan. It's just a projection, and you have to modify it every time, and you have to come back to it on a regular basis. And what we do, we use that as our starting point, our financial GPS, our financial plan, and then we figure out, you know, how can we make it more secure if interest rates or taxes go up or down. How can we make sure we're in a better position? What if inflation goes up? How can we be in a better position? What if I live too long? Or what if I die too soon? How can I make my plan better for the couple? So that's kind of the starting point. We look at all these things after, and then we make sure that we have the most certain retirement, where you have more money to enjoy in retirement with way less risk. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. We'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell and you'll be notified of future videos. Share it with a friend. Remember, Julie Kranitz, Wealth Maximization Group, maximizing your wealth to maximize your life.